It happened at my aunt's lake house, warm lights strung across the backyard, barbecue smoke rising into the summer air, kids laughing by the water. A perfect family reunion. Until my sister stood up, tapped her fork against a glass and said, "I have an announcement to make. Landon is leaving Raina." For me. 60 relatives froze mid-bite. My mother gasped. My father dropped his plate. My cousins stared like they were watching a live crime scene. Landon stood beside her, not ashamed, not apologetic, but smug. And my sister? She wasn't crying. She wasn't trembling. She was glowing like she had just won something. People turned to me, waiting for me to scream, to break down, to collapse into pieces. Instead, I did the one thing neither my sister nor my husband expected. I smiled. A small, calm smile. Then I raised my glass and said, "Well, congratulations on your honesty." You could hear a pin drop. And just when everyone thought I would walk away in humiliation, I handed Landon a sealed envelope. "For you," I said softly. "You might want to open it later." But he opened it right there, in front of my entire family. And the second his eyes hit the first page, he started screaming. Not yelling. Not arguing. Screaming. Have you ever had someone betray you publicly, proudly, like your pain was entertainment? If you've ever been blindsided by the people closest to you, hit that like button. This story, this revenge, this awakening, is for you. Drop your story in the comments. Let me take you back to the beginning. I'm Raina, and this is how I destroyed a betrayal that came from the two people I loved the most. White medium star intro who I am. My name is Raina Clark, I'm 39 and I live in Silverwood Bay, a coastal town where family ties run deep, and so does gossip. I'm a clinical social worker, a listener, a mediator, the calm one in the family. Growing up, I was the older sister, the responsible one, the stable one, the one who held everything together when life got messy. Everyone came to me for advice, support, comfort. But the thing about being the strong one is, people assume you'll keep carrying them, even if they stomp on your back. And for years, that's exactly what I allowed. I didn't realize that my patience, my softness, my loyalty would one day become tools used against me by the two people who knew me best. Toxic person intro. The sister who wanted my life. Her name is Sienna Clark. 3 years younger than me. Pretty in that effortless, sunlit way. The kind of woman who floats through rooms and gets attention without trying. Growing up, Sienna always had a competitive streak. If I got good grades, she needed better ones. If I made friends, she needed more. If I bought a dress, she needed the same one, but tighter. Our mother used to laugh and say, "She admires you, Raina. She just wants to be like you." But admiration and envy have the same roots. And somewhere along the way, admiration died. Envy grew. I just didn't see it. Because I loved her. Because she was my sister. Because you don't expect the person you protected your whole life to stab you professionally, emotionally, and then romantically. But Sienna always wanted my spotlight. Every little piece of it. And I had no idea how dark that desire would become. I married Landon Clark when I was 28. Tall, successful enough, charming when he needed to be, polite at family events. Everyone liked him. Especially Sienna. But I thought nothing of it. Sisters tease. Sisters flirt harmlessly. Sisters don't actually mean it. Except sometimes they do. Landon was the kind of man who loved attention even more than Sienna. If someone praised him once, he needed it 10 more times. And women who admired him? He collected them like trophies. He didn't need loyalty. He needed worship. And Sienna? She worshipped him long before I realized. The betrayal didn't begin at the reunion. It began years earlier, slowly, quietly, almost invisibly. At dinner she would say things like, "Wow, Raina, you're lucky Landon isn't into younger women." Or, "If he ever gets bored, he knows where to find me." Everyone laughed. Everyone except me. When I told her the jokes made me uncomfortable, she grinned. "I'm just kidding. Don't be so uptight." Except the way she looked at him wasn't a joke. He started criticizing me more. "Why can't you dress fun like Sienna? You should be more outgoing like your sister. She understands me better." He framed everything as helpful feedback. And I believed him. People like me always believe we can fix things. At first harmless. Sienna. What's your favorite wine again? I'm buying it for Raina's birthday. But then. Sienna. You're the best listener, Landon. Sienna. Wish I had someone who understood me like you do. Sienna. Don't tell Raina, she'll overthink it. He hid their messages under Client S. Collins. I saw them only once by accident. When I confronted him, he said, "You're paranoid. She's your sister." And somehow, I ended up apologizing. At gatherings, my relatives started saying, Landon and Sienna get along so well. They have such great chemistry. They should host events together. No one realized how inappropriate it was. Or maybe they did and didn't care. But I saw the spark. The stolen glances. The lingering touches. The inside jokes. The way she'd adjust his collar like she owned him. And I pushed the thoughts away. Because acknowledging betrayal hurts more than ignoring it. A year before the reunion, she pulled me aside. Raina. Have you ever thought Landon might be happier with someone more like him? I stared at her. Someone like you? I asked quietly. She shrugged. I mean, if it ever happened, maybe it's fate. That was the moment I should have cut her off completely. But she was my sister. Blood. Family. I told myself she was joking again. But now I know. That was her warning shot. And I didn't listen. 2 weeks before the family reunion, I noticed Sienna unfollowed me on social media, but not Landon. And Landon suddenly became busy every night. I asked him where he was going. Out. With who? People. Doing what? Things. That was the entire conversation. Quiet women like me often stay in pain too long. Because we hope people will become who we thought they were. But sometimes the truth doesn't whisper. Sometimes it arrives with fireworks. And it did. At that reunion. With 60 relatives watching. And my sister glowing like she had won a prize she'd been chasing for years. But what she didn't know, what he didn't know, is that I had already discovered the truth. I knew. Long before they announced it. And the envelope I handed him, the one that made him scream, that was only the beginning. Because quiet women don't just break. Quiet women rise. Quiet women observe. Quiet women plan. And the two people who betrayed me were about to learn. My silence was never weakness. It was strategy. At the family reunion in front of 60 relatives, my sister Sienna proudly announced, Landon is leaving Raina for me. I smiled, handed him an envelope, and watched the beginning of their downfall. But that envelope didn't appear out of nowhere. What was inside was months of quiet work. This is how I gathered it. 2 months before the reunion, something inside me changed. Not because of one big betrayal, but because of thousands of small ones. Sienna's lingering touches. Landon's cold distance. The late nights. The messages he hid. The excuses that didn't make sense. People rarely betray you suddenly. They chip away at you slowly, piece by piece. Until you suddenly realize you're standing in ruins someone else created. But quiet women? We don't collapse. We watch. And once we see clearly, we never unsee. It happened on a Thursday evening. Landon was in the shower. His phone buzzed on the dresser. Normally I ignored it. But something made me look. The preview said, "Can't wait for tonight, Red Heart, S." But it wasn't saved under her name. It was labeled, Manager Second Shift. Manager? Second Shift? Sienna didn't have a job. I opened the message. And there it was. Everything. Her heart emojis. Her kiss emojis. Her plans for a future together. Her list of hotels she wanted to try. Her complaint that Raina is getting suspicious. My hands didn't shake. That surprised me. I didn't feel rage. Or heartbreak. I felt confirmation. The confirmation of something I had known for a long time but refused to accept. They were not just flirting. They were not just imagining. They were planning. Planning a life that involved destroying mine. A week later, harmless curiosity led me to open a bank notification. Landon had always handled finances. He said it stressed me out. In reality, he didn't want me seeing the truth. But that day, the notification revealed a charge. $842 Lakeside Inn. A hotel 40 minutes from town. I had never been there. But Sienna had posted a story weeks earlier from a balcony overlooking that exact lake. She captioned it, "Manifesting New Beginnings Sparkles." 2 days later, $419 Lumiere Spa. Same story. Same day. My breath didn't catch. I didn't cry. I took screenshots. Screenshots don't lie. People do. One night, Sienna told our mother, "I'm going to a women's empowerment retreat." A retreat at Lakeside Inn. The same weekend Landon said he was going on a business trip. But I stayed silent. Because silence gives liars confidence. And the more confident they feel, the bigger the mistakes they make. Quiet doesn't mean weak. Quiet means observant. I accessed our shared family account online. And what I saw created the foundation of everything that would happen later. Text logs. Call times. Location pings. Overlapping hotel nights. Back-to-back spa bookings. Repeated charges for wine tastings at places I'd never been. Their patterns aligned too well to be coincidence. Every Tuesday afternoon, their phones pinged from the same wellness resort. Every Friday night, they were at a hotel for business. Every Sunday morning, they were at a hiking trail Sienna posted selfies from. I mapped it all not emotionally, but like evidence. Because it was. You would be amazed how much cheaters reveal accidentally. Sienna posted, "Sometimes love finds you in unexpected places, red heart." Landon posted the same day. Grateful for clarity. She posted a photo wearing a bracelet I had bought him. He posted a selfie from inside a car. And in the reflection of his sunglasses, I saw her hand. Liars always leave clues, especially arrogant ones. Then came the moment that changed everything. I was grocery shopping when a familiar voice approached me. It was Mrs. Hampton, one of Landon's co-workers' mothers. She hesitated. "Raina, I shouldn't say this, but I thought you should know." I braced myself. People at his office have seen him and your sister together. They said he stopped hiding it weeks ago. I inhaled deeply, not because it hurt, but because it aligned with everything. Every instinct, every suspicion, every silent truth I had swallowed. Most people think revenge begins with anger. Mine didn't. Mine began with clarity, a stillness. I didn't want to hurt them out of rage. I wanted to free myself from their lies and let the natural consequences of their actions find them. But to do that, I needed proof. Not messy emotional proof. Concrete, undeniable proof. Proof they couldn't talk their way out of. And I found it. One night, after Landon fell asleep, I found a folder on his desk titled, "Financial Forecast." He wasn't good with technology. He didn't know how cloud syncing worked. Inside the shared folder was something that made me sit back in shock. A lease agreement. For a condo. Signed by Landon Clark. And Sienna Clark. Move-in date. 1 week after the family reunion. They weren't planning to confess at the reunion. They were planning to announce their engagement. They wanted to humiliate me. They wanted to step into a ready-made life. A life I built. And worst of all, they wanted to do it in front of our entire family so that I couldn't fight back. That's when my plan shifted. Not messy revenge. Not emotional revenge. Documented. Strategic. Unbreakable revenge. I created a folder on my computer labeled Insurance. Inside it I placed photos of hotel receipts, screenshots of messages, bank statements, location data, lease agreements, Sienna's social media posts, a recorded call with Mrs. Hampton, a copy of their joint lease, emails between Landon and a realtor discussing a new life with Sienna. Piece by piece, I built a case so airtight even they couldn't lie around it. 1 week before the reunion, I printed everything. Organized. Stapled. Chronological. The first page wasn't evidence. It was a single sentence. "You didn't leave me. You replaced me long ago." Then came the rest. A proof of financial misuse of marital assets. A proof of adultery. A proof of concealed accounts. A proof of emotional and financial abandonment. Proof I could use in divorce court. A proof that would allow me to take nearly everything. Finally, at the back of the packet, I added one last photo. A candid picture of Sienna and Landon kissing in the parking lot of our church. The caption I added, "This is who you are." I sealed the envelope. I didn't know when I would give it to him, but life chose the moment for me. The day arrived. I wore a navy blue dress. Simple. Elegant. Unbothered. I didn't tremble. I didn't sweat. Quiet strength is often mistaken for shock. Let them mistake me. At the reunion, they walked in late together, holding hands, smiling as if the world applauded them. I saw the looks my relatives exchanged. Someone whispered, "Isn't that Raina's husband?" Someone else whispered, "Isn't that her sister?" Then the moment came. Sienna raised her glass. "Everyone, Landon has something important to share." My heart didn't pound. I waited. She grinned wickedly. "Landon is leaving Raina, and we're officially together." Gasps. Silence. Eyes turning to me. They wanted a scene. I gave them grace. I lifted my glass and said, "Congratulations on your honesty." Then I handed Landon the envelope. He opened it out of arrogance. He screamed out of realization. He screamed because every lie he told, every manipulation he denied, every fantasy he built, was collapsing, right in front of everyone. But this was only the beginning. Because consequences move slowly, but they never forget their destination. And Landon and Sienna were about to learn. Quiet women are not harmless. Quiet women are calculating. Quiet women rise differently. What came next destroyed everything they tried to build. At the reunion, in front of 60 relatives, Sienna announced, "Landon is leaving Raina for me." I calmly handed Landon an envelope. Inside was the proof of every lie, every betrayal, every financial misuse, every hotel, every message, every secret lease. He opened it, and he screamed. Now here's what happened next. The second Landon's scream tore through the backyard. Every head turned. He staggered backward, clutching the envelope as if it were burning his skin. "What is this? What did you do?" His voice cracked, wild, panicked, exposed. I remained sitting, legs crossed, holding my drink delicately. "Nothing you didn't already do," I replied softly. He began flipping page after page, each piece of evidence hitting him like a punch. The hotel receipts with Sienna, their text messages, the condo lease, the bank withdrawals, screenshots of their private conversations, the message where he told Sienna, "Once Raina breaks, we can finally start our real life." Every line of his lies printed in black and white. His breathing became sharp. "You spied on me. You're psycho. You." "No," I said cleanly. "You left a trail. I simply followed it." Whispers erupted around us. "Her cousin Emily. Is that her sister in those photos? My Uncle Thomas. Dear God, that's disgusting. My Aunt Marlene. Sienna planned this? With her own sister's husband." My mother sat down hard, looking faint. My father clenched his jaw so tightly I thought he would break a tooth. My grandmother crossed herself. Meanwhile, Sienna stood frozen, color draining from her face. "Landon, what is all that?" she whispered. He whipped toward her. "You told her about the lease. You told her everything." She shook her head rapidly. "I didn't. I wouldn't." "It's your handwriting," he barked, pointing at a note I'd included. "You said we deserved a fresh start. You said she wouldn't notice." Gasps again. Sienna covered her mouth. I almost felt sad for her. Almost. She stepped toward me, voice trembling. "Raina, this is twisted. You're twisting everything." I raised an eyebrow. "The receipts? The condo lease? The texts where you called me dead weight, preventing Landon from living his true life?" She flinched. People around us murmured. My mother whispered, horrified, "Sienna, tell me this isn't true." But Sienna said nothing. Because lies crumble quickly under lights. Landon kept flipping pages, getting louder, unraveling with each one. "This is illegal. You can't do this to me. You're ruining my future." I tilted my head. "You ruined your own future when you used our joint savings to fund weekend getaways with her." He froze. My relatives froze. "You what?" My father exploded, stepping forward. Landon stuttered. I needed money, we were planning." My father's voice thundered. "That was Raina's inheritance. Money her grandparents left her." Every relative erupted in outrage. Sienna's knees buckled. She sank onto a chair, shaking. And Landon realized. He hadn't just cheated on me. He had stolen from me. The group didn't hesitate. My aunt folded her arms. We support Raina. Period. My cousin Mia muttered. You're both disgusting. My Uncle Thomas pointed at them. You two need to leave. Now. My grandmother softly whispered. Betrayal like this breaks families for generations. Sienna's eyes filled with tears. Please. I didn't mean. But no one wanted to hear. Her carefully crafted fantasy world collapsed under the weight of truth. Meanwhile, I sat calmly observing. Power doesn't always scream. Sometimes it just watches. He slammed the packet shut and shouted. You'll regret this. You think you can turn everyone against me. I'm the victim here. But victimhood requires innocence. And he had none. Victims don't sign condo leases with their wife's sister, I replied. Someone snorted. Someone else muttered. He's lost his mind. Then Landon tried a different tactic, desperation. He marched toward me and whispered harshly. You can't divorce me with this. You'll lose everything in court if you try to expose me. I smiled. You should read the last page. His hands trembled as he turned to it. There it was. A letter from my attorney confirming. Proof of marital asset misuse. Proof of adultery. Proof I was entitled to the home. Proof I was entitled to the bulk of our savings. Proof the condo lease was fraudulent. Proof I already filed for divorce before the reunion. He paled. You filed already? Yes. 2 weeks ago. The relatives gasped again, but this time in admiration. Landon's voice cracked. Why didn't you tell me? Because, I said gently. I wanted you to reveal yourself. And you did. Sienna reached for Landon, panicked. Please say something. Fix this. Tell them you still love me. He pushed her hand away. I'm not going down alone, he hissed. You're the one who wanted this. You pressured me into everything. Family members gasped. Sienna reeled backward like she'd been slapped. Landon. How can you say that? Because you ruined my life, he shouted. The silence was deafening. Her face collapsed. In that moment I realized. He was never loyal to her either. She betrayed me for a man who would throw her under the bus the second things went wrong. I didn't need revenge for her. Life had already taken care of it. I stood up slowly. Excuse me, I said. I'm going home. My father walked me to my car. My mother hugged me, crying. My cousins followed, promising support. My grandmother whispered blessings. But as I walked to the driveway, I heard Sienna sobbing uncontrollably. I didn't turn back. Some endings aren't yours to comfort. Some endings are lessons people choose. During the weeks that followed, I didn't collapse. I grew. I found a new apartment. I decorated it beautifully. I started reading again. I joined a pottery class. I hosted dinners with friends. I reclaimed the parts of myself I'd given away too easily. And slowly, the ache of betrayal transformed into something powerful. Peace. I didn't get revenge through destruction. I got revenge through rebirth. The envelope exploded, the reunion. The family turned on Sienna and Landon. Their lies collapsed. Their relationship cracked. The legal storm began. Now comes the final unraveling. The consequences that cannot be escaped. And Raina's quiet rise into a new life. This is the conclusion. 3 weeks after the reunion, we entered mediation. Landon sat across from me. Tired, angry, hollow-eyed. Sienna wasn't with him. She hadn't been seen in days. My attorney slid the stack of evidence across the table. The mediator reviewed it slowly, page by page. When he reached the condo lease, he exhaled sharply. Mr. Clark, this is extremely serious. Landon swallowed. The mediator continued. Given the documented misuse of marital assets, the concealment of financial accounts, and the evident infidelity, the court will favor Mrs. Clark. Landon flinched at the word favor. The mediator listed the outcomes. Raina keeps the house. Raina receives the majority of savings. Landon must repay all misused marital funds. The condo lease is invalidated. Raina is awarded compensation for financial damage. Landon must pay attorney fees. Landon's face drained. This will bankrupt me, he whispered. My attorney answered calmly. Choices have consequences. He glared at me. You're enjoying this. I looked him straight in the eyes. No. I'm healing from this. The next day, I got a call from the condo manager. Mrs. Clark? I'm confirming that the lease linked to your husband has been voided. I paused. Is Miss Sienna Clark aware? He sighed. She was here today. She tried to negotiate. She cried. She begged. She threatened. But the lease was signed under fraudulent circumstances. Did she leave peacefully? Eventually. But she fell apart. I didn't feel joy. I didn't feel pity. I felt the truth. A woman who breaks others to get what she wants eventually breaks herself. 2 days later, Sienna showed up at my door. Her hair was tangled. Her eyes were red. She looked like a storm had passed through her body. I opened the door halfway. What do you want, Sienna? She burst into tears. Raina, please. I'm sorry. I messed up. I didn't mean for everything to fall apart like this. I didn't respond. She fell to her knees. He won't talk to me. His job is in danger. The condo is gone. My reputation is ruined. Mom and Dad won't return my calls. Everyone hates me. For the first time, Sienna faced what betrayal really cost. And then she said, please forgive me. I need you. Forgiveness is complicated. But forgiveness is not the same as reconciliation. I knelt beside her. Sienna, I don't hate you. She looked up surprised. But I don't trust you. And I don't want you in my life right now. Her face crumpled. You're abandoning me, she whispered. No, I said softly. You abandoned me the moment you chose my husband. She let out a sob, deep shaking. And for the first time in years, I felt free. I closed the door gently. Not out of cruelty. Out of self-respect. Later that week, Landon's employer contacted my attorney. They had reviewed his misuse of company funds, his lies about personal expenses, his inappropriate coworker interactions, his newly revealed affair, and they placed him on disciplinary suspension pending further review. He messaged me. Raina, please. I could lose my job. I'm begging you. Help me. Help him. The man who betrayed me with my sister? Who used my inheritance? Who lied to my family? Who humiliated me publicly? No. You built this, I replied. Now live in it. He showed up at the house the next day. He was shaking. Please, he whispered. I'm homeless. Broke. Sienna left. I'm losing everything. I took a deep breath. You didn't lose everything, Landon. You traded everything. He stared at me broken. I closed the door gently. No anger. No hatred. Just closure. Divorce finalized. House secured. Finances repaired. And most importantly, my peace restored. I began rebuilding myself in small, gentle ways. I redecorated the house the way I liked. I joined a book club. I took a watercolor class. I started morning walks by the bay. I drank coffee on the porch without feeling watched or judged. I began experiencing mornings that felt like freedom. For the first time in years, I wasn't shrinking myself to make someone else comfortable. I wasn't walking on eggshells. I wasn't being lied to. I wasn't being compared to anyone. I was simply me. Whole. Healing. Rising. 6 months later, I ran into Landon outside a pharmacy. He looked like a shell of his former self. Disheveled suit. Tired eyes. A man carrying the weight of consequences. Raina, he said quietly. You look happy. I am. He swallowed. I didn't appreciate you. I thought you'd always be there. I thought you were too soft to ever fight back. I smiled gently. I didn't fight, Landon. I just stopped protecting you from yourself. He looked stunned, then defeated. Do you hate me? No, I said. Hate ties me to you. I've let you go. He nodded slowly. And for the first time I saw the truth. He wasn't my enemy. He was the lesson. I walked away. Head high. Heart steady. Future bright. If you've ever been betrayed by the people you loved most, if someone has tried to replace you, if you've ever stayed quiet because you thought loyalty meant endurance, this story is for you. Quiet does not mean weak. Kind does not mean blind. Strong does not mean loud. Your peace, your healing, your self-respect is the loudest revenge you will ever have. Drop your stories in the comments. I read every one. And make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more stories of quiet power, justice, and rising stronger than the people who tried to break you. This is Revenge with Raina, and this was my story.